is Amrita Maraj Dubey. I'm one of the Senior Communications Officers at the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. And of course, this month we are celebrating the 175th anniversary of the arrival of our East Indian ancestors. So today I'm here with George Singh. He is the founder of the Chutney Soca Monarch competition, which is one of the more significant and perhaps one of the more popular platforms for East Indian culture and East Indian entertainment. And George is also the CEO of Southex. So I'm going to hand over to George and let's chat about the history of Chutney Soca Monarch. Take me back to 1995 or even before the 1996 start of the competition where the CSM was in its embryonic stage.
Good morning, Amrita. Thank you for having me on your Zoom conversation. I'm happy to be here and happy to share some of the information concerning Chutney Soca Monarch and the evolution. And it has really been a real evolution when you look at where it started and where it's come to today. We just finished celebrating the 25th anniversary of Chutney Soca Monarch in 2020, which was an amazing experience. Taking you back, let's go back to 1995.
Right.
Actually, I'll go back to 1991. Let me start there because that's actually where Southex started.
Right.
Right. So Southex is an event management company. The first event we ever did was a very small trade show that was held at Gulf City Shopping Complex that had only 8 exhibitors in it. The thinking behind that was really to drive people to the mall, to get more people to come to the mall. So we came up with this idea to create this trade show event that would bring people to the mall. So that's where we started. For the 5 years between 91 and 95, we tried our hands in different things. Southex was something that continued to grow, the expo itself, and we went into different types of events. In 1995, a friend came in. I was also one of the tenants of Gulf City, by the way. Right? So I had a store at Gulf City. So one of my friends walked into my store one day. I think it was somewhere around August 95. And he said to me, George, why don't you do a chutney show? And I was like, okay, a chutney show? What is that? And it might sound weird, but chutney was not, for me, I did not grow up, although I was East Indian. First of all, I'm not Hindu. Right? So I didn't grow up. I live in San Fernando, so I didn't grow up in that chutney environment, right? However, the idea of doing an entertainment event is always something that is alluring. So he said, why don't you do a chutney show? And I was like, okay, I don't know what a chutney show is about, but I'm listening. He said, come, let's go to Samar Entertainment Center, where there was a show on that weekend. Amrita, I have to tell you, when I walked into Samar Entertainment Center, and I stood up at the back of the crowd. They probably had about 4,000 people in Samar that night. The Rampasad Indian Art Orchestra was on stage. I'll never forget. They were playing. The music was so infectious. The way people reacted to the music. I just walked around and I looked and I felt a different vibe completely. And it really got me interested in what was going on in that Indo entertainment kind of feel, right? Around that time also, elections was in the air.
Right.
The general election. Right? And the PNM party actually used Lotela, Sunnyman's song,
Lotela, yes.
right, as one of their campaign songs. So the song became a huge hit, really popular. Now, immediately coming out of the general elections, we went into Carnival. We were nearing Carnival, if you want to see. Lotela was being played in every possible fetch you could think of.
Right.
Chris Garcia also came out with a song called Chutney Bacchanal.
Chutney Bacchanal, yes.
Ajala was singing a song called Sonani. You had so many other artists, right, that were just, and I just got very interested and I thought William Monroe was doing Soca Monarch at the time, right? Something that always fascinated me. I used to go to all the Soca Monarchs, right? So I thought to myself, I said, why not start something for the chutney industry? And let's call it Chutney Soca Monarch, right? Let's bring it into Carnival because I felt Carnival was the place for it, right? And I came up with this idea. I wrote a little proposal. I actually came to the Ministry of Culture. Mangal Patesa was one of the cultural officers at the time. And
Right.
I did speak with him and let him know what my ideas were. I went to a few radio stations with the idea. And the first radio station I went to, I wouldn't say who it was, but the guy told me, he said, George, you are absolutely crazy. This is not going to work. Why are you bringing this thing into Carnival? It has no place in Carnival, right? And it's going to fail miserably. The promoters that are in Carnival are huge promoters. They spend a lot of money on advertising. They're going to crush you, right?
Right.
You're going to be crushed completely. I left that office even more motivated, Amrita,
Right.
about doing what I wanted to do. I felt so strongly that it was something that was going to be a success that I continued at my quest and I went ahead with the project. Very small sponsors, right? And I would never forget, TTT actually supported me, Trinidad and Tobago Television. Louis Leasing was the chairman at the time, right? And he was the CEO, actually, I think he was the CEO of TTT. And I remember at the end of Carnival, he wrote me a letter and congratulating me on Chutney Soca Monarch being one of the success stories of Carnival. You know, and the TV station actually ran a story on it. And the success of Chutney Soca Monarch from that point just was phenomenal. I mean, it just grew from strength to strength. I think the artists were very skeptical at first when
Yeah.
they saw me. They didn't know me. I was not someone that was inside that network of Indian entertainment. I
Right.
wasn't. Those were the strongholds in those days were the Mastana Bahars and those kind of things. So when
Right.
they saw this guy, you know, who is this young Indian guy from San Fernando that we don't know, you know, here's another smart man that's trying to rob us. That was that. I believe that was the feeling, you know. But
Yeah.
basically, from the point that we started Chutney Soca Monarch, where we had this car as the first prize, it was the first time that a car was being given as a first prize for
Right.
a carnival show of that nature for Indo entertainment, where over a period of 3 weeks somebody could win a car. So it was really enticing, it was exciting, and we just grew from strength to strength from there. That first year, Amrita, we had a stage that was maybe like a 40 by 20 stage. It was on barrels with
Right.
two
Right.
20 by
Right.
20 tents on it, you know. Um, and it was just it's just amazing to see the transformation that Chutney Soca Monarch has taken. When you look at the 25th anniversary show, Chutney Soca Monarch today stands out as one of the biggest productions and most elaborate productions in Carnival. You've been there many times. Yeah,
Definitely.
you've been on stage, you've been in front of the stage. You were there this year at the 25th anniversary celebration, so you know the detail that goes in and the complexity of the event that happens. That is Chutney Soca Monarch today.
Yes, it's definitely quite a production, a very impressive production. And I want to ask you, you talked about the evolution of the competition. I want to ask you, what are some of the more significant changes you've noticed in terms of the kinds of performances, the range of topics that they would have covered? What are some of the major things that stand out to you?
So when we started, and you know, in the early years of Chutney Soca Monarch, there were Chutney Soca Monarch got a little bit of a stigma. Chutney Soca music, I should say, got a little bit of a stigma because of the number of songs that dealt with, well, the topics that they dealt with, which was alcohol, rum
Right.
drinking, even abuse, you know, domestic violence, and some of those topics. People started using some of those topics, but you know, in the early years, I never wanted to censor the music
Right.
because I always feel, Amrita, that people that sing songs tell stories, and they bring their stories and their life experiences
On
through
stage.
song
Yes.
on stage.
Yes.
So what people were singing about was what was some of the problems in today's in at that time society as they saw it. So
Right.
they were really bringing it to the forefront, you know. And I think that it contributed in a way that it made people realize what was happening within that industry maybe. But even if you look at the whole local music industry, with soca
Right.
even, right? And calypso in particular, right? Calypso music, it's always a story. It's a story that people tell.
Yeah.
So in 2012, and I'm going to jump to 2012, when we were getting lambasted a lot. Oh, it's only rum songs, people singing, is this, that. 2012, I made a statement and I said, no rum songs, right? We're not going to allow any rum songs, and any songs that deal with domestic abuse are not going to be allowed, right? So we took that off the table completely. So in 2012, we didn't have any alcohol songs at all.
Right.
However, the soca market went total alcohol in 2012, right? So, and the thing about it is, it's not a matter of whether it's chutney or soca, that's singing about alcohol. Trinidad and Tobago is a country where rum is part of our culture. It's part of the culture of Trinidad and Tobago,
Yes.
and I don't think somebody singing a song is going to encourage people to go and drink rum. I disagree with that totally. Anyway, let me go back to 2012. So we took it off the table. In 2013, 2014, 2015, I never spoke about it.
Right.
So I did not come in 2013 and say, okay, rum is off the table again. I just didn't talk about it. Nobody sang about rum in rum in 13, 14, 15. And what it was really was taking off the table the glorification of alcohol. So we said, okay, you want to sing about alcohol, sing about something that is constructive, but do not sing about anything that is glorifying alcohol, right? And domestic abuse is still off the table actually today. We don't allow any songs that deal with domestic abuse or abuse of any form. We don't allow it in Chutney Soca Mana. So there's a screening committee. We do screen the songs. And anything that glorifies alcohol in a way that we feel is harmful to people, we will not allow it. So that we have also been pounding into the artist set about the lyrical content that they have.
Right.
Spoken to them a lot about it over the years, and I feel that over the last 10, maybe 7, 8 years, the lyrical content has come a long way.
Right.
If you look at some of the lyrics today, this year and years, maybe the last few years, you would see songs that are better structured. Now, not all of them are. You would always get that song that sounds ridiculous, and you wonder what is this person thinking. But you do have songs that are well structured, well written, and make up have good lyrical content, and definitely things that makes the industry look good.
Right. Now, tell me, what are some of your personal favorites coming out of CSM? Are you willing to divulge that?
So, I can't tell you I have a favorite song. I can tell you some memorable times, right, that we had. There's one memory that comes to mind in particular. I think it might have been in 1997 or 98, somewhere around there. Chutney Soca Finals was on at Skinner Park.
Right.
Rain fell for the entire day.
Oh no.
It was storming at 7 o'clock in the night. Every carnival fete was cancelled on that night. Even Wassa couldn't deal with the water. Wassa fete was a big thing, right? Yeah. So Wassa fete was even cancelled. But Chutney Soca Monarch was not cancelled. So every fete was cancelled that night. And we were live on TV, right, that night. So everybody was in their house. Who wasn't in Skinner Park was in their house looking at this show.
Right.
And we had about 10,000 people in Skinner Park, Amritsar. And people were soaking wet. And everybody was dancing and having a good time. And it was just an amazing, amazing experience. So look at that. When you look back at that, it really shows the strength of the culture, the enjoyment. You can't take that away from Trinidadians. They definitely go out there to enjoy. It's really, really something strong. That next morning, there were trucks pulling cars out of the mud in the second round in Skinner Park. People were stuck. They couldn't leave. So it was really, but people, bottom line, they had a great time.
Right.
and it was a very memorable night. There are some other nights that I remember that are not so good memories. I remember the incident with Ravi B, for example.
Right.
There was a stoning of the stage. That was not a memorable incident, but I mean, Ravi B apologized after. I think that the excitement and since then, I have to tell you, Ravi B has matured really nicely. He has become one of the top entertainers in the chutney soca industry. He's the one person that stands out. He's a really good person. I see him mentoring so many younger artists and helping them as they helping them to grow and to develop. So I think he has come a long way. But overall, my enjoyment is seeing the development of Chutney Soca Monarch Amrita, and where every year trying to make it better and better, moving with the technology, changing the technology. The technology changes every year, and we try to implement everything that we can to make Chutney Soca Monarch one of the best productions in Carnival every year.
And I know last year you had a CSM Toronto edition. So Chutney Soca Monarch, it's truly an international competition now. And I think this year for the finals, you had finalists from all of the world. Tell me what that experience was like.
So CSM Toronto was the first time we did it. We have had, in years gone by, we've had artists performing from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the first time that we would have had foreign artists in 2020. However, we felt it very important to do a show on the North American continent that was affiliated to Chutney Soca Monarch, where the North American artists could have a platform to start developing and have a window that they can come to the final, an easier window, let's see. Because when you see those artists come to the semi-final, for example, let's say they register through from the registration process, and you have foreign artists that make it to the semi-final, but it's very difficult for them to get to the final because they're dealing with all these top Trinidad artists that are well oiled,
Right.
and they know the so it's very difficult. So we felt it was an opportunity to not only give someone on the North American continent an easy pass, well, not an easy pass, easy in inverted commas, right? An easy pass to the final. But it was also something that I felt would definitely develop. It will start developing the whole chutney soca culture on the North American continent. And when I say North American continent, I'm talking about Canada, USA, in particular, Toronto, New York, Miami, which is where you have that concentration.
Communities, yes.
Yeah, you really have that concentration of people.
Right.
And that's where the artists came from: New Jersey, New York, Miami, Toronto. We also have a lot of artists that take part in Guyana, from Guyana, even Suriname. This year we had a guy from Suriname that was in the final, actually.
Right. Now, I see that you have this concert coming up to celebrate Indian Arrival Day. It's a free concert. Tell me a little bit more about that and how this idea came about.
So, we all know that the coronavirus has hit the world very hard.
Yeah.
The way we do business has changed, and a lot of people have been in lockdown mode. In Trinidad in particular, a lot of people have been out of work.
Yes.
And government has put things in place for people who have not been, who are out of work. Also, you have a lot of people that have been helping people by giving out thousands of hampers. Is one of the industries that have been hardest hit by the coronavirus shutdown. So you have an industry that went from 100 to nil, literally overnight. You have to remember also that some of the artists that are in very simple folk that come from very simple places, and some of them, basically live gig to gig, weekend to weekend, that wedding to wedding, cooking to cooking, which is no longer happening. So we came up with this idea and we said, no one is talking about artists that may be in need. So I thought, okay, so we're in lockdown mode, we can't have a concert open to the public. But let's stream something live to the world. Let's create links for people to be able to donate money. And let's see how much money we can raise that goes towards artists. This is a fund that will be created. by the principals of Southex, but I intend to get 3 or 4 artists, top artists, involved on that committee that will decide who gets, how much money is given and who gets the money. We're going to create a form for artists to fill out that they apply for like almost like a grant, right? And we're hoping that this particular concert will help us raise funds for artists, because
Right.
I don't think anybody's thinking about artists. It's going to be a fantastic show. Anybody that knows me will know that I don't do anything under excellent, right? So it must be excellent. We have a nice little stage that we're going to put down. We're going to have a live band. All social distancing regulations will be maintained.
Yes.
To make sure. But it's going to be a live show. It's going to be a live show. So, a lot of people have been doing streaming, and you have this one in their house, and that one in their house, and that one over there, and this one's sitting down in their pajamas playing a guitar, which is all well and good, and that's fantastic. But this is going to be a show, a proper show, right? That's going to be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to have links for people to be able to donate. Before the show even starts, we're going to be lobbying people to make donations. And all 100% of the money, Amrita, is going towards artists.
Right.
All the costs of underwriting the particular show, whatever it costs, Southex will pay the cost. That's our contribution, right? However, whatever money comes in, and we will be very transparent with the money that comes in. We will probably put up a list of all who has donated, right? And show people this is the amount of money, and we can even say where it went, but there will be a committee that will meet and do it.
Wow,
and this fund that we're going to start actually
yes,
is going to be something that is permanent. So we will put proper things in place to be able to maintain this fund and probably get it registered properly, so that that everybody is comfortable that this is a properly run fund.
Right. And this is happening on Indian Arrival Day in the afternoon. I believe it's from 5 to 7.
It's from 5 to 7, correct. 5 to 7. It's the 30th of May, Indian Arrival Day. So you're asking people to tune in. It's a free live feed. You don't have to donate, but if you can donate, you can use a credit card and donate through PayPal, or you can contact us, info@southex.co.tt, to find out different ways that you can make your contribution.
Great. Sounds like a great plan. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much, Mr. George Singh, for really sharing with us the history of the Chutney Soca Monarch competition and this exceptional initiative that you have coming up. And we wish you all the best. And definitely on the ministry's pages, we can definitely share this to increase the viewership and the reach of this very generous drive that you have going on. So thank you very much, and I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone at Southex and the Chutney Soca Monarch fraternity a very happy and reflective Indian Arrival Day.
Thank you very much, Amrita.